Hey guys, this has been one of my favorite vehicles that I have ever owned. In fact, I have now had this almost an entire year, and it has been my daily driver. I mean, I have 10 cars, but somehow I've managed to put about 5,000 miles on this guy. But well, the time has come for me to say goodbye to it, and I listed it for sale, and wouldn't you know it, the original owner reached out to me and wanted to buy it back. And I have them here today, and I'm going to introduce them right now. So this is Teresa. Teresa, welcome. Thank you for coming out and agreeing to be on camera with your original Ford Explorer. So I just want to know, when you originally purchased this back in 1991, what motivated you to buy this car specifically?
So I moved here to work at University of Colorado, and I wanted a really good four-wheel drive car. I researched all of them, the 4Runners, the Jeeps, and this one had everything that I wanted, and it rode like a car.
Hey folks, today's video is brought to you by SalvageReseller.com. This website allows you to bid live on online salvage auto auctions without a dealer's license. You can register for free or use the 20% off coupon in the description below. Go find your salvage car gem now.
Not like a Jeep that goes out in the desert and doesn't have any padding.
Sure. Yeah, so, I remember at the time when they announced this car, they were kind of saying that it was catered towards people just like you that wanted a lifted SUV with 4x4, but weren't necessarily interested in taking it on the trails or things like that. But what they did is they built this car based off of the Ford Ranger, and inadvertently it's actually pretty good off-road too, but it still has car-like driving mannerisms, so it's a great daily driver to have.
Yeah, and it did great on road trips. We did take it out to Utah and drive it on Elephant Rock. So it was a great car.
That's great. Well, so you had it for what was it, about 32 years, and you were saying that it was 1 year ago today. Like, we were filming this on August 18th, 2023. So August 18th of 2022, you made the difficult decision after 32 years to give this to a charity, right?
Right, we donated it, yes.
Okay, and what motivated that decision to move on from it?
So I really wanted something more reliable, because as this aged out of having regular parts available, I kept running into, oh, we can't fix that, or we can't fix this. And
Gotcha.
For me, reliability is everything.
Sure.
So I thought, you know what, we'll donate it, give it to another good home. I didn't realize she was going to get a second life, which I'm really pleased to see. And that was the day that I have photos of the tow truck taking her away.
Well, just know that when I got it, it actually ran and drove pretty good. You know, it had a few little issues here and there, and we can go over those in a minute of exactly what I fixed on this, but it's been super bulletproof for me. Of all of my cars that I've had, this has been the car that I know I can always rely on. It'll always start for me every single time I go out there. So it's been really impressive. A car from 1991, Ford's first ever attempt at an SUV with 4 doors, and they kind of knocked it out of the park from the get-go, and I can see why you held on to it for so long. But let me show you some of the things that I did to it. So I noticed, first of all, you mentioned now on the inside here that this steering wheel leaked oil onto your hands or something
goo.
like that, or goo, and you can kind of see some little stains here on the side, and that's because there was a bunch of like electrical tape wrapped around this steering wheel, and every time you'd grab onto it, it would just kind of like ooze into your hands and make your hands kind of sticky and gross. And so I worked painstakingly to get all of that off, and this steering wheel actually came out really well. This is still the original steering wheel. I haven't replaced it. I just cleaned it up, and it's looking good now. And the other thing is the 4-wheel drive, well, it wasn't really working properly, and we realized that in one of our videos. So I added manual locking hubs to it. So now when you want to take it off-road, or even in some inclement weather, you can select that 4x4 and you can switch this over so that you have a proper working 4x4.
That's great.
Yeah. But there's been a few other, minor things here and there, like bushings and random things like door handles that were broken on it. But otherwise, the main components of this car have been great. This has been one of my favorite cars to own, and to be honest, I'm going to be kind of sad to see it go, but here's the new owner. So McEwen,
Hi.
it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you
And
too.
I am so excited. I mean, your mom owned this for 32 years.
Yes. It was
And
her first ever brand new car.
Yeah, it's a really cool story. It seems to have served her well, and it certainly served me very well. And so I think it is going to do just as well for you. But I need to know, like, so when that car got taken off by the tow truck, when you guys donated it, how were you feeling in that moment? Like, were you sad to see it go, or was it something that was just something that happened and you were okay with it at the time?
I was somewhat sad to see it go. I had always kind of wanted to drive it around, and I thought it would be fun to have as a daily driver.
Sure.
But when it got sold, I figured it wasn't too big of a deal. It's 1991. It didn't work too well, and I definitely was not expecting it to get a whole secondary life and be completely revitalized.
Well, and you were 14 at the time,
Yes.
so having a license and driving a car was kind of a distant thing at the time, whereas now you're about, what, 1 month away?
1 month
from
away,
getting your
yeah.
driver's license. And so tell me the story of how you stumbled upon the fact, because I just posted this on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't do anything special. I just posted it to the local region to see who was interested in buying it. And I somehow got you that messaged me. So tell me a little bit about how you found it.
I was just looking at Facebook Marketplace like I usually do on a Thursday night, and I saw it, and I wasn't sure if it was my mom's or not, but I decided to do some more research if it was. And after looking at the pictures and asking one of my friends that's a big fan of TFL, we discovered that it actually was the same Explorer. And so I messaged Brandon and asked if I could meet him and hopefully buy it.
Well, I'm very excited to see that you are actually going to take ownership of this. I think you are the best owner for it because, in my opinion, the best first car has a few things going for it, right? It's reliable.
Yes.
It's, in my opinion, the best first car is a stick shift because I want my first driver to be focused on driving. I'm looking over at mom there, right? Rather than being on their phone or doing anything else. But also you want to know the history of that car, and obviously with you guys owning it since 1991, you know pretty much everything except for the last year of what has happened with this car, and then I can just fill you in on what you missed in the last year.
There's some videos of it too.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah, there's a few videos out there that we created with it. We did do a little bit of off-roading with it, and it did do pretty good. I will say, even though it's running on some older tires, I would recommend replacing those tires definitely before the first snowfall.
Definitely.
And the other thing is these front shocks are, well, you can see it kind of bounces a little bit too much there. I would definitely replace those before too long. But other than that, it's going to be a solid vehicle for you. As long as you take care of those few things and keep up on the maintenance, I think you're going to enjoy it.
I think so. These 4-liter V6s go forever, and it's still under 130,000 miles. So
yeah, it may not look like it from the outside, and I know some viewers have called me out saying that I don't know what I'm talking about because it's only a 5-digit odometer and I can only assume that it's 128,000 miles, right? Because it's only actually showing 28,000 miles. But I have the original owners here that can confirm it's only 128,000 miles, even with this paint looking kind of rough the way that it is. But the inside really tells the story, I think, with how nice the seats are in this. That really tells you that this car has not been driven that much, especially considering how old it is. Well guys, it has been a blast owning this car for the last year, and I am really sad to see it go. I know someday I will probably look up and want another first gen Ford Explorer with the manual transmission, but it could not be going to a better home. So McEwen, here are the keys, buddy.
thank you so much.
Enjoy her
man.
for a long time.
I will.
I'm sure she will treat you well.
I hope so.
And yeah, it could not be going to a better home, so.
Thank you very much, man.
No, thank you. All right, guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video in specific, hit the like button on it. And as always, check out alltfl.com for everything automotive. Take care.